Great. So my name is Tim Williams and I am from YR. And I'm here to talk about design process in retail and how you involve your customer, or how we involve your customer in the design process. So show you a little bit about what we do. There's a couple of slides, not many. And then we're going to talk through some specific like web examples, which have come into massive kind of focus in the last couple of weeks as our traditional industry, which you'll see in a second, has taken a massive battering in terms of sales. So the plan is go through that for like 10 minutes and then open up for any Q&A that anyone's put in there, or any questions that anyone has, and they can ask me. And Sam is also there ready to answer anything as you ask it. So thanks very much for joining. I'm here in London. I'm sat on the sofa. I still haven't found a perfectly comfortable position that isn't on my sofa, enabling me to do all of this. So I did try, but all the cameras in these, like in my iPad and my laptop, they're all in the wrong place. So, you know, they kind of like cut off what I'm doing generally, but I am wearing a branded t-shirt for those watching. Anyway, right, that's 5 minutes gone. I will, hopefully you'll be able to see my screen and you'll be able to see what we do. I'm going to sort of go slightly backwards and slightly forwards on this just to give you a bit of an overview. So we are a company, we're called YR. We actually have a range of solutions that are designed for different markets, so events, retail, and online. But our main focus is events and retail, which obviously you've probably noticed are two of the biggest hit industries over the last few weeks, thanks to the virus. But we are trying to respond as best we can and also adapt and change what we do. And I think that's a good positive sort of message in all of the stuff I'm going to show you, is how we can kind of try and focus on some of the more positive side. So we work primarily, before the virus, we worked primarily in events and retail, where we actually put physical installations into retail stores. So by that, we would put in screens, touch screens, where customers could come in and they could actually design their product, like t-shirts, sweatshirts, wallets, belts, all sorts of things, customized through a variety of solutions. And YR in itself is a platform, which is a software platform, but it's also a connection into loads of different things that retailers have got pre-existing and that they may bring in for this kind of customization experience. So for example, we work with Levi's and they already have a gallery of art and obviously ongoing new art coming into their merchandise and kind of graphics that they add to different products. So we bring all of that together. We kind of manage the whole from the front end, the customer experience, what happens when they're in store or online, how they interact with the content, how they create their designs. We also then integrate into those systems, into the store-based systems if they're in store. So how do you actually sell a product? We can connect into those systems. We can get stock counts in real time. And also we help with the creation of the product. So the key thing is we don't just create the front end experience that's fun and exciting, but we also do the whole end-to-end experience. So we take the customer on a journey to make sure that they can design their product, but it actually gets produced exactly as they wanted it to at the end. So we produce the print-ready or manufacturing-ready artwork as well. So there are many reasons that people bring customization into store and online. I'm not going to go through all of these because kind of there's a few things I want to show you in real life as demos and not sort of talk about these, but clearly one of the key things is around engaging people in an experience, building loyalty in a brand, being more relevant. And the only other thing to think about is that actually customization is really just another word for on-demand production. So customization is one-of-one production, where you are designing something as a consumer, you're designing something which will then get made just for you. And obviously that's the same as on demand, where instead of producing thousands of one product all pre-printed and then selling them and potentially having waste, markdowns and over inventory overstock, then on demand manufacture, producing it just for that consumer, is clearly a great way of reducing waste and lowering costs overall. There are some great facts and figures, and I can share these with anyone who's interested after. But, you know, customization is a growing trend online and offline. So hopefully virus protected, people still want to customize product. There are a load of different techniques, as we call them. So that's the different ways that people can create product. So you've got everything from print, which we've talked about, like t-shirts, sweatshirts, all that sort of stuff. But there's all sorts of other techniques. You're probably familiar with embroidery, patching, stickers onto product. You can see in the corner there, something we do with Keels, where you can actually design a sticker, a label, which gets put onto the product. So it's like a custom gifted product. But there's also engraving, laser, all sorts of fun stuff as well. So one of our key clients globally is Ralph Lauren, where we run their in-store experience through our software. You can walk into the store, you can create a design on a polo shirt, sweatshirt, you can do print, you can do embroidery, you can even buy patches, and it's all done through the fun interface. People can kind of play around with different designs. They can add their name, they can choose different colors, they can really sort of have a bit of fun in store and involve themselves in the process. And that's just something to take away. But also the reason I'm showing you this is just so you can sort of see what I'm talking about when I say the physical experience in store, which is obviously very quiet as a business right now, as I'm sure you can imagine. But yeah, this is something we did with Karl Lagerfeld. You could actually design a Karl inspired shirt to celebrate his life, which was a tribute this year and last year. And then various different products. So this is something we did with CK. We could, instead of CK, you could just change the initials to be your own initials, which was a big hit and looked great. Then I'm going to show you this crossover into a crossover from in-store and how we brought it to life online as well. So if you bear with me, you can take away from this that we do these amazing experiences in-store. Their customers can come in, they can create designs using touchscreen, and they get printed there and then. So they walk away with a tote bag, a sweatshirt, polo shirt, whatever it is, in just a few minutes. So how do we translate that to work online, I hear you ask? Well, that's great. So first of all, one of the first forays we made into sort of bringing our product online was actually through the connection that we have with Ralph Lauren in store. So in store, we obviously powered the Ralph Lauren customization experience using our software. Customers use the software to create their designs. So how can we bring that online was the challenge. And so we worked with their existing vendors, and this has just flipped over to the UK, so that's a bit annoying. Not a problem because it also runs in the UK, although seemingly not for this demo. Great. Seems to be broken. Okay, well, we'll try this instead. So how can we bring that customization experience to life on the web? Well, we worked with their existing vendors and we plugged in our rendering technology so that when customers created their own custom designs, adding their own text into Ralph Lauren website, they would be able to, I mean, this is just, you know, they've certainly got the sale thing down. So this render here on the left hand side is powered straight from YR. And actually, as you customize the product, you can very quickly make a change to the content. So in here, for example, you can type in some content there. And as you move between the different designs, you can see that my custom content is taken across. So a little bit of fun. You can see the little TD there that I've typed in because that's just a 2-letter customization. You can even customize the back. So you can kind of put a name and number on the back. You can choose different things. So in here, there we go. And you can add that to your bag. So all of that's running through our same exact software that runs in store essentially, but hosted in the cloud. But there are lots of ways that you can involve your customer in the design process. And one of the great things that we designed from start to finish for DKNY was this incredible experience, just keeping an eye on the time, for a campaign that they had where you could actually click on this, Inspire Me, and you could actually choose which parts of this made your yourself 100%, if you see what I mean. I'm not really explaining it very well, but you get the idea. So you can change these. In fact, you could go, well, okay, I'm a coffee lover, which I always default to in these kind of situations. But and then you could decide what side of that. I mean, this says NY. I'm actually in London right now, so I could choose to change that. And then you could order this for a if you could spell it correctly, for a knockdown price of $50. You could order this. It would be shipped and fulfilled by a third party very quickly, so it would be with you within a week. So that was an experience we designed from start to finish, all about kind of involving people in the design process a little bit differently to potentially how you may think of people designing products in store or online. We actually do some customization for an H&M brand, or sorry, we do some software for H&M brand Weekday, where you can customize on their website. But one of the interesting things to show you in here is that you can go and create a custom product, but you can also just order on-demand product. So there's no customization on here at all. And if you remember me talking about the on-demand piece earlier on, then you probably remember saying that, you know, it's a great way of reducing waste. These are printed on demand, so they don't have stock of these. And when they reach a certain limit, they take these off sale, because they're kind of like seen as a must-have, must-buy each week product. So you can go in here and you can create some wonderful on-brand designs very simply on the web. And clearly this is related to the brand every time we do it, but you get the idea. I can rotate that, for example. I could move that over there, do that. Okay, great. So all of this is super interesting. There is a whole order management system behind. I'm very conscious of the time, and I'm going to spend the next 1 minute finishing off, and then we'll open up for any questions. But the order management system enables you to, if we flip back to this incredible slide here, you've got the design on the front end, and then we also create the print ready file, but we also send the product through to production. So we offer a kind of end-to-end service for retail brands, for artists, for anybody with content who wants to get it in front of customers, be it events, be it a pop-up that only is online for a week, like the DKNY one, which was online for a couple of weeks, or be it a permanent installation like the Weekday one, or even just a pop-up that lasts a couple of days and is, you know, an event product. And we back all of that up with our incredible reporting dashboard, which shows you all the different sales, how they, how different designs translate into sales, product breakdowns, like, okay, yeah, I've got hoodies, sweatshirts, t-shirts, what colors people are picking, what designs people are picking. So there's a whole reporting dashboard behind everything. And if anyone is interested, we are now offering this incredible service for your virtual event. So I can share this deck with anyone who's interested. And the beauty of this is that you can kind of pop up in the virtual world and create a event that also has physical merch from it. So you can have a virtual event just like the one you're all attending today, but you could click a link and order your real tangible merch, and you can either get people to pay for that, or you can give it away for free. Okay, good. So there are a couple of Q&As. If anyone has anything specific they want to ask, then now is a great time. I can share the presentation, no problem at all. If I think we've got all your contact details, so that's absolutely fine. And we have a couple more points that I think would be answered by email as opposed to the sort of specific things. So that's great. I can follow up on those. One of the questions is, how long does it take to implement a project? So when we're talking about our web product and the virtual event software, which is actually, this is an example of it here. So, you know, we could have this co-branded with your brand if you want to. Obviously, all of the content here can be customized. You can send us the content. You can add in any content you want that sort of matches our guidelines, and then customers can create their own, and it goes through to that. Something like this, where it's just a replica of this UI, this layout, all this kind of stuff, but with your own artwork, with your logo on it, this can be up and running in as little as a couple of weeks. And then something more like in-store, where we're kind of doing like a full in-store setup, you know, from 4 to 12 weeks, I guess, is a typical time for us to set that up. And a couple of other specific ones, thank you very much. Then there is another question about sourcing suppliers that produce the product. So we work with a network of printers that we feed into using an API. So we send every order, depending on whether people are in a certain region. The network works out where it is best to send that order. So if you're in East Coast USA, we use a printer, fulfiller, and shipper on the East Coast to send it to you. And you are also able to source products. We work with a lot of brands, as you've seen, so we can plug in different products into that process. And we are able also to source products. We have a lot of different suppliers that we work with, different qualities, all that sort of stuff. So that's not a problem either. And do we design in-store experience in terms of the fixtures and stuff? Yes, we do. So we usually provide, I guess, what we'd call a sort of almost like white box layout, and then we would hand it over to the brand. But if it was a brand or somebody who didn't have their own design team, or somebody who you know, could design that for them, then it's absolutely possible that we would design the whole thing, the fixture, everything, and we have done many times. Great. Okay, if there's no more questions, we will follow up with the people who've asked for the presentation and some great feedback. So thanks very much. Clearly someone was watching, which is very enjoyable. Hopefully you have a good rest of Retail Innovation, World Retail Innovation Summit. Thank you very much.